Hello everyone and welcome to episode 7 of Cross Atlantic Gaming. I'm your host Risky the Kid, and joining me this week are my co-hosts Chocolatebear
How you doing, guys?
and DocH1X1.
Hey, what's up?
Do you guys hear that? Right off the bat. Listen.
Oh my gosh.
Warning, incoming missile.
Right. The contest. We have our new word. It's the second word in our phrase. And it is, as I scroll down to find it, go. So, the way the competition works, we need you to listen to 4 episodes. Last week was the first word in the contest. Then next week will be the third, and obviously the following week will be the fourth. Once you get that phrase, email us at cagpodcast@gmail.com with the full phrase, and then we'll choose randomly a winner who will get a month's subscription to, I kind of think, Game Pass.
Game Pass.
Yeah. Mine just went blank there.
Nailed it.
Well done. Over
Alright.
to you, Risky.
Okay. New week. New everything. I'll start because I don't usually do that. And I'll start because I barely played any games this week.
Perfect.
Had a busy week, but the one thing I dove into a little deeper was Hollow Knight on my Switch. I've been on the go a bunch this week, so having the Switch has been nice. Hollow Knight really picks up after, like, the first, hour or two is kind of slow because you don't have any direction at all. Like, it's not a game that's going to hold your hand. So it took me a while to really get into it, but now that it's going and, I'm picking up different powers, different weapons, that kind of stuff, that game's a lot of fun, really fun, a real fun platformer. Still reminds me a lot of SteamWorld Dig 2, which I loved that game, so it's good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to starting that on the Switch. It looks really, really good.
Yeah, it plays real well, too. Like, in handheld mode, I think it's nice and responsive.
Yeah. Like, I get the feeling a lot of those Twitch platformer games are perfect for the Switch, especially in handheld. This makes sense.
Yeah, it's definitely perfect. I agree. Other than that, it's 6 a.m. Me and Doc are here nice and early. Didn't have my morning coffee.
Still dark outside.
Still dark out. Have to go to
Still
work
dark
after
out?
this.
No way.
No, there's light. But
How is it dark outside? The Earth is flat. What are you talking about?
don't tell them our theories, our beliefs.
No.
Yeah.
That's on the other podcast, guys. Come on.
Yep. The Flat Earth Podcast.
Real quick, wife watches. I don't know if your girlfriend watches this, Risky, the Bachelorette, the show.
Every week.
There was a dude on that was a flat earther, and everybody else is like, everybody thought he was joking for the longest time. I was like, oh no, you're not.
So did he not get a rose once she figured that out?
I have no idea. I just cut that one part because my wife was like, hey, come here and check this out. I'm like, oh yeah, those people, you don't know about those people though. That's a real thing.
We're not making a joke.
Yeah, no. That guy's being dead serious.
There are real people out there. We're probably just shit talking. Our
audience is gone. Sorry about that.
We're just kidding, guys. Believe in whatever you want.
Who's to say?
But yeah, so I spent all weekend. I had a bachelor party this weekend, the last 3 days. So we were just out on a lake,
Nice.
drinking all weekend, and it's so hot out here. The weather's got to be terrible for you as well, Doc, right? It's
Oh yeah, it's just,
95 and humid. It's
sweltering.
awful.
It sucks.
Maybe you're switching up your drinks with water, getting rehydrated.
I was just drinking out of the lake we were in. That's fine, right?
Yeah,
I had a giant straw, and I was just leaning over my tube and just drinking out of the lake.
Yeah, at some point, you don't got time to refill the bottle of water,
Oh,
Do you know what? You say that. We went to a barbecue yesterday. This is disgusting, but I'm going to say it anyway. Oh, yeah, it's awful. So there was a little paddling pool out for the kids, and they were sitting, playing. And one child decided to go for a wee-wee in the pool, as they do.
Oh.
Well, yeah, wait for it. 5 minutes later, my son comes with a cup, fills his cup up, and just drinks it.
Oh, no.
I know.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, and not just once.
That's how you bolster that immune system.
Well, they say about eating dirt. I mean, I've never heard of drinking someone else's pee that will help your immune system.
I was really just trying to make you feel better. That's probably not good.
Listen, I failed in life. I'm fine. You know, my dead points have just decreased.
You
And
let
if you
your
can hear,
child drink a cup of piss. Yes, you're
well,
right.
yeah,
Dead
well, it was
points
watered down.
decreased.
Guys. Watered down
It's
piss.
like,
it
yeah,
wasn't
it's
straight
like,
from
please dilute
straight
it.
from the tap.
Good God.
And if you can, you can hear my daughter in the background just gurgling away.
Hey, Bella.
Say
What's
hello.
up, Bella?
Say hello.
Now she won't talk, though.
No,
She's like, oh.
Oh, you want me
God.
to say something?
Yeah.
No.
she's
Definitely
just
not.
smiling at me, looking as if I'm an idiot. Bye-bye, good girl.
Well, Chocolate, so what have you been playing this week, game-wise?
I have had gaming OCD, I think. I've played everything and anything I can get my hands on.
Good.
Yeah, so the usual FIFA, I've jumped in. Had some fun with that. That's normally my starting game. Jumped into the Division, trying to get through all the shields and stuff like that, which is getting really difficult now. I think I jumped in the Dark Zone and just got hammered by 3 guys constantly, as
Yeah, I
usual.
feel like the people in the Dark Zone right now must be all pretty good.
Yeah, they are good. They are unforgiving. A bit like Sea of Thieves at times, where you come across a rogue ship, you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, you're like, are we going to have a fight here? Yes, we are. Jumped into Warframe as well, and that game is not for me at the moment. I'm not keen on that.
I think I'm with you there, Chocolate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I like when as you're going along the game, it's nice. The levels are vibrant, colourful, good. But it's just when you get on that ship, not for me. So I think I'm going to be out.
Sorry,
Warframe
there's enough
from now
other
on.
stuff.
Oh, I played. Trust me, I'm only halfway through what I've played.
Oh,
Super Hot.
that's a good one.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, that's a good game.
Love that game. Love that game.
Frustrating, some of those levels where you're like, right, okay, hang on. So I've gone left, right, left. No, I failed. So I need to get the guy on the right hand side first, so I can grab his gun to throw it at the guy on the left hand side and pick up the katana sword and chop the other guy in half. The game is unreal.
First
Yeah,
person
loved it.
shooter puzzler. Fantastic.
Puzzle, yeah,
You get
And
to
the-
basically feel like Neo in the Matrix. It's
Yeah.
pretty great.
definitely. And what they've done with the whole, if you move, time speeds up, and that
Yeah,
even includes kind of the reload of your gun as well.
Super cool mechanic. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic! Really, really good.
Gotta say, if you guys ever do try a VR game, that one is worth it to try in VR. It's really cool.
Oh wow, I think that would be mental, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it is.
How do you
but
feel
it's
about
neat,
the
though. It's
like
neat.
the artistic decisions in that game? Like everything's white and then your enemies are red. I think that's about it. Weapons are like black.
Yeah.
Yeah, the color palette's very plain, isn't it? There's not.
Yeah.
There's not much to it. I think it's a bit endearing. The only bit I'm not keen on is when the fuzzy stuff comes up, like you're being hacked.
Oh yeah.
That bit I'm not.
I don't know. It's got a decent payoff, I guess you could say, but I didn't mind it too much, that part. But
What else? 60-second shooter prime.
What
I
is that?
jumped in
I've
that
never
for
even
about
heard of
5
that.
minutes. So it's like Geo Wars. I think is the best. You're a spaceship. You've got to destroy everything. You can. You have one life, and it is literally you've got 60 seconds to go as fast as
Is
you
that
can.
on Xbox? I'm
I think
assuming.
yeah.
Oh yeah, on
Yeah.
Sorry, all on Xbox. I think you can pick up time.
To make it last longer than
You can,
60
yeah.
seconds.
Yeah,
Like
so you-
nice.
Yeah. But
It's actually
yeah,
pretty fun, yeah, considering. Yeah,
it's a twin stick shooter, isn't it? And it's just the way the mechanic works is quite good. And if you haven't got
Perfect.
that long to play something, it's a nice jump in type of game. And then last but not least, I've just been playing Shadow Complex because that's in Game Pass, the remastered version.
Never got around to that one.
Oh yeah.
I do like it. Platformer. making you go back and forth to try and get some of the kind of the power ups and stuff. It's a nice looking game as well, being remastered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super underrated game. A lot of people don't talk about from last gen, for sure.
No, I mean, if you've got Game Pass, I suggest jumping on and having a go.
I definitely do.
It
I have
is
Game
good fun.
Pass, and it's like all I use it for is State of Decay and Sea of Thieves. But there's so much other stuff there that I should probably just open it up and look.
Yeah, just find something random.
Something I've never
some
heard
type
of.
of
Go for it.
Game genre. Well,
Yeah.
and go for it. But there's some
Like-
good ones coming out. There's that bomber game, isn't there?
Yes.
It's out. Is it this month or next month?
This month on the 10th. It comes out day and date on Game Pass. I probably put like 80 hours on the PC version of that game. Definitely check that game out. It looks super simple, but it's really
What's the
fun.
name of that one?
Oh.
It's Bomber Crew. You're basically a, the old, I can't remember the exact plane model number, but the bombers that the America would use to bomb Germany and or just whatever, long range sites. And basically you had like the pilot, navigator, front gunner, tail gunner, mid gunner. I think I said navigator, radio guy. You've got all these different positions on the plane, and you've kind of got to manage all of them as you go on this bomber, and like you'll get strafed by like other planes. You have to, actually drop the bombs at certain points. You might have to do a reconnaissance, like photograph a site with your intelligence guy. But then, your tail gunner might run out of ammo. He's got to walk back, get ammo, or the wing might get damaged. Somebody's got to go climb out on the wing and repair it. You can go to different altitudes. If you go to high altitude, you got to make sure you guys have oxygen mask. It's actually really freaking fun. Like
It sounds like
so
a
much mileage out of
more
that game.
advanced version of Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time. Kind of.
It's not totally far from that. It kind of the way I would definitely compare it to that because of the way it kind of looks with the side view and like people moving around and stuff.
Is it multiplayer? Like, can you have friends manning different parts? Or no?
No. Not unless they've added that to
That'd
this
be a cool
version.
little feature.
But it's like I've played a ton of that game on Steam, and then it's one of those I'm just like, man, I hope they bring the same idea to like a submarine game or even like a tank game or something like that. It's like a really cool way that they've somehow made like being on a managing a bomber crew.
That sounds awesome.
And the art style is kind of bobbleheady-esque.
Yeah.
So the art style very cartoony. It's very endearing.
You can upgrade a lot of stuff in your plane, like the engines, armor plates, machine guns, all that stuff too. It's got a lot. It's got
Cool.
more depth.
To
it.
That sounds fun. For sure.
Just a public service announcement. I think Vermintide 2 is also coming out this month, and I want to say there's a couple more too.
There's 6, isn't there? Fallout 3.
Yeah, Fallout 3, Oblivion, Shadow Complex.
There's 3. The Bomber Squad thing.
Yeah.
Vermintide, and I can't remember.
That's Game Pass. Damn.
Definitely recommend checking out Vermintide 2. That game is really fun. Been playing the beta. It is really good. Really, really good. Really good 4-player co-op. If you never played the first one, the best way to compare it is to like Left 4 Dead, but like in a high fantasy.
I did play
Lord
the
of the
first
Rings
one.
style thing.
So how far or like what things are improved, I guess, in the second game over the first one?
So the first one you kind of had your beginning hub area. This one it's much more utilized in terms of like I haven't got super deep, but there's a lot more difference in like as far as like upgrades and things you do in the hub area versus like you still get loot, all that stuff. But I've not unlocked everything in the hub area, but it seems like that area is much more involved in terms of like upgrading the beginning area with different stuff and what you can do there. I can't remember if the first one had this, but if you don't have enough people to play, they'll just fill your team with bots.
I
First one might have
remember
had that,
playing.
I
feel like it was filling our squad with actual people, but maybe they were bots that were actually pretty decent.
Well,
that could have been the case actually.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I mean that's the best case. Is like you can definitely match with people, but if you want to play solo, you actually can in this one. So it is an option. Maybe that's something they added to where people were like, "Hey, I I don't want to play with other people, or I don't know why you would care. Or, that's the type of game it is, but that's an option now, at least, I guess. So there's that. It feels a lot similar. I feel like there's more to do with like abilities and stuff you have now, even more so than the first. So it's like a much more fleshed out sequel, kind of akin to like State of Decay.
So you know
2
what you're getting
versus
yourself
the first.
into.
It's just a lot more of the it's very similar, but they've fleshed out a lot more stuff.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Are you playing anything, Doc, this week? Oh,
Finally got Mario Tennis.
we
that
need
game
to play
is
some of that. That game
freaking
is so
awesome.
fun. So good.
Yeah. The single player story can get way more challenging than I would have ever thought.
Is there a
for that
difficulty
thing.
slider, or it just kind of ramps up?
No, and I'm like, I have to, like, when I was playing, I was like, man, if I was a kid, I don't know, like, I don't think I could beat this. I'm
Or
pretty
am
good
I?
at games, right? Like, or am I? Yeah, it's like,
Questioning
oh man,
everything.
I'm on the downhill, but it's got some challenging stuff in the single player. But man, does it really teach you all the abilities really well? Like, I feel way more, I guess, like, a lot of those abilities feel way more secondhand to me now than they did like when I was in that online tournament trying to like remember what did what and when to use it. But the trick shot for me is still really hard to pull off depending on who you're playing with. But other than that, yeah, that game is really solid, really, really fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Highly recommended. Also been playing the handicap version of Fortnite, which has actually gotten me super into Fortnite, which is
Oh my
the Switch
God,
version
dude.
of Fortnite with the Pro Controller. That has actually kind of gotten me into Fortnite more than I've ever been, because now I'm not saying this is a guaranteed win or anything, but you will do light years better. Like, I do light years better on Fortnite with a Pro Controller than I do on the Xbox.
That's the other thing.
Just
I
saying.
Played a decent amount of this week, but I figured it wasn't worth going to. But yeah, 100%, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I tried playing it on the Xbox, and though if you go over to your Xbox, it is so smooth and it looks so good. And then you go back to the Switch, and it's kind of like,
Oh man, it does.
But the competition just isn't there on Switch.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to build. Like, I've had since I got back into this, I think I have 3
No.
wins on solo, and it's like the final like gunfight.
Yeah.
I'm not building anything. Like,
It's not. It doesn't feel super necessary. I agree. Like, I mean, like you can, but like, yeah, I've not felt like, well, there's no way I can win this. You know. But man,
Yeah,
that's
dude.
kind of got me into Fortnite.
give us a no build mode. If there was a
Who'da
no
thought?
build mode on Xbox, I feel like all of our game would be elevated a little bit.
Yeah, I was.
Do you have the battle pass?
Go ahead.
for
I'm sorry.
That
I don't, but the only reason I didn't is because it was so late in the season. I actually, now that I'm kind of into Fortnite because of the Switch, I will probably get the new one when it
I'll be there
drops
too.
in like 10 or 9
but
days.
I just
yeah.
found this out, and
Yeah.
obviously people who've been playing have known this forever. But so you pay your $9.99 or whatever to get the battle pass, and then you earn those V-Bucks like as you level up, and you can buy your next season pass with the V-Bucks that you earn. So really, you just buy the first battle pass, and if you save up the
Seriously?
V-Bucks they give you, you can just pay for the next season, which is really cool. I didn't realize that was going on. But
Yeah, that they have a really smart model, because now that I'm seeing how I'm getting on there more frequently, I'm just like, holy crap! It's no wonder
yeah.
they're making millions of dollars. Like, their turnaround on cosmetics is insane, and they make interesting ones. And I got on there, and I'm just like, it is all the willpower within me to not just want to buy some of this stuff, whether or not I think I would actually apply the skin, like, because it looks cool. Like, it's super smart what they've done. Like, they have made
I
the
completely
model
agree.
for free
Everybody
to play.
should be following
Absolutely.
this or trying to follow it.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see what their ratio from the battle pass, skins, and everything else, how much they make on each one.
I would say I'd definitely be interested to see
A
those
lot.
numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the ratio between the two. Because if you're saying you can use your V-Bucks to buy your next battle pass,
But then
or
it's
season
like if you're
pass.
using your V-Bucks to buy your next battle pass, you're not spending them to buy the awesome skin that's sitting in the shop for 24 hours.
what?
Which is, I was about to say, I would have already
So,
used it on that.
but-
Yeah, exactly. So, like, yet like I had some V-Bucks left over yesterday, and I bought the new emote they had, which was the sprinkling
Yep, that's
salt.
perfect.
I'm just like, yeah, I have to have that. That's great.
It's
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's nice though because when you buy the battle pass, you're not really too worried about what's in the shop because usually you're working towards some pretty good stuff in the pass.
Yeah.
And the only reason I hopped on this one originally was like, hey, it's superhero themed, and I was like, all right, I can get behind that. And then I didn't play it for like a month until it came out on Switch, and then I was like, I can't stop playing it. I don't know why. It's because everybody's really bad. I love it.
It was funny because like at one point because the accounts are linked obviously, Lindonian was on Xbox playing, and he invited me when I was on the Switch, and I actually did. I was getting up anyways, but I didn't join him because I'm just like, nah, man, I gotta stay in this pool. I can't get in that pool, man. Nope. No, that's I'm gonna get murdered if I join your hopper. Like, I need to stay in this one where a lot of people are in handheld mode,
like,
please.
I see a lot of people just like strafing sideways instead of like actually aiming around.
Yes,
it's so funny.
You nailed it, Risky. Like you know within 2 seconds of a firefight whether or not, for me, A, if I'm probably gonna win, and B, 100% if they're in handheld mode, because their turn radius, they are not turning, they're strafing, and it's just like, as soon as I see that, I'm just like, I've got this fight. Yeah, I've got it. I have way more mobility than this guy does right off the bat.
Guns locked on. You are mine.
Yeah. But, it's good stuff, though. That's actually really got me into... Who would have thought that would have got me into Fortnite?
That's the same for me, man.
Switch getting it and
same exact thing.
Yeah. And then lastly, I went back, actually, of all things, and played Operation Flashpoint Dragon Rising on 360. Never played these games before. The only reason I gave it a look is because player unknown Brandon Green talked about what got him into making like simulation-style military games like Arma, and then Battle Royale was
cool.
This was one of the games. And yeah, and I actually tried it out, and it actually does have a Arma feel to it. Like, it is much more... I can't believe I never really picked this game up back in the day, because like it doesn't hold your hand in any way, and it is much more like, here's a huge map, go here, complete the mission, do this, do however you want. Like, it's actually pretty fun. It's super dated in the graphics and how it looks, but having a lot of fun playing that, though. It's definitely worth checking out.
All right, good.
That's about it.
We all got to play a little bit of something at least. But let's move on to the news with Chocolate and Doc and I.
Right. First one, very exciting. EA says FIFA 19 will disclose Ultimate Team pack odds. Doc?
Yeah. You almost said discard. EA almost like choked on a sandwich they were eating when you said that. It's like, are you mad?
Oh, go on.
I did include this for you, though, Chocolate. So, per Eurogamer, speaking to Eurogamer reporter Robert Perchese at Game Lab Conference in Spain, EA Sports Vice President Daryl Holt said FIFA Ultimate Team Packs will show odds from FIFA 19 moving forward. I want to say real quick, too, this isn't mentioned in his quote, but he did hint that this would be coming to other sports games in the EA franchise, but the only one he would guarantee, at least this year, was FIFA 19. So he was quoted in saying, for Ultimate Team, when you buy a pack, you know what you are getting. You are getting a certain number of assets that are guaranteed. If we're going to start to do pack odds disclosures, that we are going to start doing pack odds disclosures that'll show you the odds of what you might get. What do you feel about this, Chocolate? Do you think seeing like super low percentages on cards you want will dissuade you in any way from wanting to buy them, or do you think this will have any effect whatsoever on people buying cards?
Well, when I saw that this was in the news, I jumped onto the FIFA web app just to remind myself what it shows on the packs. So on a standard 5k pack, for instance, it shows that you get 12 items, 10 of them are gold, and one of them would be rare, which, to be honest, doesn't mean a lot. So it all depends what type of stats they're going to show in terms of what you're going to win. Does this make sense?
Yeah, I guess that's true, because that's one thing I was going to ask you. I'm glad you said that, because I didn't know what they already surfaced to begin with. So it sounds like they at least tell you somewhat like what you're guaranteed to get.
It gives you a vague idea. The only trouble is they've got certain consumables that are, air quotes, rare gold. So as much as it says there's one rare gold, you have got potentially 20 elite players. There's probably more, there's probably less. I can't work out. I'm not going to work it out right now. There's a set amount of elite players that you want that would be rare golds. Then there are the 50 crud players that you don't want to even see that are rare gold. Then you've got your consumables, your kits. So potentially when this new pack comes out that says, oh, you'll get 3 rares or 12 rares, the odds aren't great anyway, because you could get 12 rare kits, or you could get fair 5. It's I don't know. I'm being very skeptical, only because it seems like they're trying to be as open and honest as they can, but statistics, percentages can show you whatever you want to the person who's made them, so they can manipulate whatever they want to show you.
Yeah.
Will it stop me buying packs? Well, I'm not going to spend money next year
I call
on FIFA
bullshit right now.
19. No, I've done really.
No.
I've done really well this year. I have managed to marginalise how much I normally
what's
spend
a
on that
normal
game.
FIFA season spending like for you?
I don't want to say because it's embarrassing. Okay, so FIFA 17, I used to spend about £80 a month on buying packs and FIFA points. So what's that? Maybe $100, give or take.
29 cents.
Yeah.
This year, I have only done. Oh, bearing in mind, so what? The length of the game's a year. You normally only play it for about 8 months of the year, so that's a shed load of. You're almost looking at $1,000, aren't you?
Yeah, I guess they do make a killing on that now. I guess I can totally see why. Yeah.
This year, I think I've only probably spent £300.
So much money still.
Okay. Well, I mean,
it is, but compared to last year, it's less. So my goal for this year, for FIFA 19, is to spend £0. Yeah, really.
that was enthusiastic. Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah. Well, no, I need a laptop.
Well, you could have bought a Switch and a laptop
dying.
with how much you've spent in the last 2 years. So there's that.
Thank you for that. There is that. Thank you. I'm just going to be really nice to my wife. She's gonna think that I deserve
Worth a
one.
shot.
There you go.
We hope. Yeah.
So yeah, EA
yeah.
FIFA still making a killing on microtransactions. So
EA, take my money. It's in the game.
Oh man, yeah. So I guess I'm like you, Chuck. It'll be interesting to see if I'm wondering if you'll even be able to go to a site and like per player be like, here's the odds of this player being in this type of pack.
I can't see that happening because then
me either.
I mean, like I said, people are after and want the elitist players. People want a Suarez or a or a Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, or Rooney. I'm pretty up to date on my soccer. So
everyone wants that decent
Pele. Obviously. So.
Oh, check you out.
Is Pele still alive?
I am not going to comment on that or Google it because I have a child in my hand.
Anyways, that's. Yeah. I'm like you. I don't see them like showing a Ronaldo and being like, "Here's your .001 chance of."
Well,
of getting
yeah. I think things like that will only hurt their game. However, gamers are gamers, and people who play that game are going to spend money. Except me, I will not.
I have seen some recent studies though that say that stuff like this does not hamper whatsoever people or dissuade people from actually buying stuff. It seems like so.
Yeah, I think they're just ticking off the box for the gambling thing. However, if they're showing odds, are they? Is it more to the tune of they're actually gambling?
I'm assuming that's why this all came about was all the loot box stuff and gambling and.
Yeah, because wasn't there a few European countries like over there, like
Belgium?
I want to say like either Holland
Belgium was
or
one.
Belgium, yeah, that was it. Yeah, was like they actually instituted laws and was like, hey, you gotta institute this by this date, otherwise you're not allowed to sell in our country, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's hard not to look at it and say it's not gambling, but I don't know.
Well, you start showing odds and stuff.
I mean, what is the difference, really? I mean, at that point.
I'm still losing. That's the difference. Right.
I got to watch one of those Sweeney matches, Chocolate. It was something.
He is some player.
He is good at that game.
He is, and I'm gonna hate him now because he'll message me in Discord going, "Ha, you said it." Yeah, right. I'm gonna jump onto the next story. So, Google is reportedly working on a gaming platform to compete with the Xbox and PlayStation. Doc, what's happening?
So it looks like we might, sometime, maybe not for another year or two, but we're going to have a fourth competitor with Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo. So Kotaku reports that 5 separate sources who were either briefed on Google's plans or heard it secondhand can attest that the company is working on a game streaming platform as well as a full-fledged console. Back in February, the information also reported similarly, stating that the project was codenamed Yeti. They go on to say, yeah, I know. I was like, that's not the worst code name ever. Streaming services, especially related to video games, have been talked about for a while, but haven't quite reached their full potential due to poor internet speeds and people attempting to stream on low-end hardware. Google service will reportedly try to solve this by offloading the work of rendering graphics to more powerful computers at separate locations. This means that you won't need the newest and most expensive hardware to play them at their best. The rumors point to ideas floating around that Google may even try to integrate its future Yeti service with YouTube in some form. I didn't put this in the article as well, but there were also, Kotaku was reporting that Google was looking, much like Microsoft did recently, to acquire several studios, actually, to make exclusive IP. So it sounds like they're going in both guns blazing and that this is a legit thing. So what do you think about this, Risky, having a fourth competitor in the
I don't think
console
there's
marketplace?
room, but I don't know. Like, if it's another $500 console, $400 console, I've already got all 3 of them. It's just me hearing this just makes me kind of like quiver. I'm like, no, please, please don't do it. But
right.
having Google behind it, like that's huge. That's humongous.
Yeah, there's only 2 companies worth more than Microsoft in the world, and Google's one of them. So if there's anybody that's got money to throw at something,
developers too, so there's going to be obviously exclusive content there, and that's the reason I bought a PlayStation, because I didn't want to miss out on stuff. So I'm sure I'm headed down a similar road here. I'm assuming this is still years and years off, maybe.
Yeah, with the fact that it sounds like they're now looking to possibly acquire people and stuff like that, and none of that's been done yet, I would have to assume that at the earliest, we would be talking like, I'm thinking not even 2021, maybe something like that. If they're wanting to at least launch this with actual exclusive games, who knows? They might have like a streaming platform well before that. To the streaming point, I will say, if there was 2 companies that I feel like could actually make streaming work, it's either Microsoft or Google in terms of that. I feel like those are 2 companies that could invest enough in research, R&D that would, could make that work in today's infrastructure with internet and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. But I'm like you, I don't see this happening for a while. What about you, Chocolate? What do you think about having like a Google Yeti box to go along with the Xbox or Switch and PS4?
Well, I think it'll be good to obviously push the competition. I just can't see, as Risky said, if it's going to be a $500 machine.
Yeah, 100%.
One, Risky's going to drop the money on it, obviously. But yeah,
I think I will too, probably.
Well, not me. My wife doesn't give me that much. But yeah, I can't see. It'll be good. I don't know whether there is room for another one. It'd be great, and it will all of a sudden push Microsoft. It will push PlayStation. I don't think it'll push Nintendo. I think Nintendo are on they've got their plan. They stick to their plan, and they kind of just get on with it. Yeah. So I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right. You're not going to see it in this side of 2020. I think with the new releases that will that they're talking about new consoles, I think that's when they'll drop it.
Yeah.
Um,
It's one of those things that, like, I mean, competition's only a good thing. We've seen that this gen with how how much it's helped Xbox just become frankly one of the best gaming platforms to be a part of as far as like investing your money in my opinion. But like, so competition's only a good thing. I think it's funny because I think people for the longest time thought Apple
Step up and
would
do
be
it.
the
Yeah,
one
that's a good call.
to because with their they have the App Store, with their presence and all that. But then again, it's just like it's something that clearly they've just never had an interest in doing full fledged. So,
well, I think Microsoft having that kind of when they first started, did they not making that much profit?
yeah, well, and frankly, the Xbox, people forget, but the Xbox did not actually do all that well. The original one, granted, it was going up against the PS2 at the time, but they actually, people forget, they ended the Xbox, OG Xbox life cycle fairly early, like just less than 4 years in. Actually, they introduced the 360. So, it's one of those things to where even the Xbox out of the gate, it was hard to get going. But
Well, no one wants to run a company of 5 years potentially of making a deficit or not making the profit that they want, do they? 5 years is a long time. You need to make sure you're in there for. You need to plant that seed and kind of watch it develop and grow.
And honestly, people were having this same conversation about Microsoft when they talked about, when Bill Gates come out and said they were making a console back then. It's like, oh, Microsoft video game console, really? They have Windows. They make the operating system for the computer. What do they know about games?
Yeah.
So, it's. I think if you have a company and if you have one of the, if not the wealthiest company in the world, then you have enough money to make anything work, probably. So
Yeah, I mean, if they can take all the best bits from all the consoles, all the handheld devices, potentially they will be on a great standing foot. Unless they just want to do their own thing, which obviously they do want to do their own thing. That's not that doesn't make sense. If they go off the path and go, right, this is how we're going to implement it,
Right,
and not
right.
cherry pick, the great things that PlayStation does, the great things that Xbox does, the versatility of the Switch. If they miss all that, then I think they're just going to be dropping their money down the toilet.
For me is like software sells consoles in my eyes. Like if they come out with 5 exclusives at launch that are like mind blowing, like that's gonna sell people. A $400 box that can play 5 of the best games you've ever seen.
Totally.
Like, sure, this could also end up being the Ouya too. So who knows? We'll see.
Yeah. I will say this has probably got more odds of being
No,
successful
yeah,
than that just
100%.
because of who's behind it. That being a Kickstarter and this being, Google. But I still think it's going to be so now. I still think it's going to be so weird one day to see like Google Splash come up on loading a game. Although they'll probably rebrand their gaming division to some other name because Google's like infamous for everything they own. They rebrand it to a different name, to half the time you don't know you're buying something.
So maybe not
that's
G
under
Play?
the Google umbrella, but. yeah. Who knows? I mean, it's
No, it doesn't.
That
no.
does not sound
Sounds
good.
a lot more
G-Play.
sexual than they would probably want it to.
Yeah.
Or does it sound good?
Exactly.
Depends what type of games they're trying
It's
to bring
an
out.
adult only.
True.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, they're gonna market it. They're gonna go that angle with it. Nintendo's got the kids. We've got the adults.
Right. I'm going to
anyways,
move
yeah.
on to the next segment. Otherwise, this is going to get so blue, it's untrue. Xbox community content. Platform could bring more mods to the Xbox One. I'm going to quickly nip out. I'll be back in a second. But Doc, can you take us through and what's going on?
Yeah. So, per Windows Central, as of writing this, developers have set up their own systems and services to bring mods to Xbox One. Halo 5 Forge, Fallout 4, Skyrim Special Edition are a few prominent games that have their own modding systems, built with their respective studios. Devs, of course, will continue to be able to do that if they so choose, But Microsoft is setting up a system that would not only provide much of the infrastructure required to set up these features, but also surface mods directly into a new section of the Xbox Store, similar to Steam Workshop, to make them easier to discover. These documents are from early in the year and note that a developer beta for the feature would be hitting Xbox dev kits in March, with approved mod libraries going live later this summer. Further iterations of the service beyond this summer include full Xbox Shell integration, showcasing mods directly in Game Store page, recommendations, commerce support for mod creators, ratings, mod reviews, and website integration. Basically, what it sounds like is this is a system-level way to surface mods that are similar to Bethesda's Creation Club, which Bethesda started, which is basically a way for any Joe Schmo to make a mod for a game and then sell it to the community. So basically independent modders can get compensation for their work, whereas previously they just made a mod, people used it, there was no way to say like, here you go, thanks for this. What do you guys think of this? This sounds like, Xbox is taking a big step in terms of like, honestly, making the Xbox more and more into like a Steam machine, like what Steam tried to do but didn't succeed in.
We're really blurring the line between PC and console is what this is just working towards that.
Totally. Yeah, and it sounds awesome.
No, yeah, it's not a bad thing at all. The only way I'd be able to get through Fallout 4 at this point is with the mods on. So it's like I've seen nothing wrong with this. Like, it's just another thing that Microsoft's doing with Xbox. That's just really good. It's only good for. Well, it's good for us players, but also these independent modders, like getting some money thrown at you for these mods if they're hits. Like if thousands and thousands of people are downloading your mod, you might as well get some type of compensation for it. So,
yeah, that's my thing, because like a lot of people hated on the Creation Club Bethesda when it first came out, but then I'm like, if somebody does make something that's widely successful, they spent time on this, they worked on this, they probably should be compensated in some way.
I never actually like dove into the Creation Club at all. Was that a successful program for modders? Do you have any idea?
So I've went into both of them, and I don't know how successful it was, but there is a lot of cool stuff on there. It's much more heavily curated versus the anything goes mod section of the mod section of their games. Because, you open up that section and it's like, here is followers you can have that have humongous boobs and practically no clothing. And 5 out of 5 stars on the mod community rating. But, now this is not that. This is much more like, on Fallout I dove into it and I got a few things. Like I got a backpack which changes the way it looks depending on what stuff you equip and have in storage on it, so that's kind of unique and cool. Like I've got a Pip-Boy that looks like a Nuka-Cola themed look to it, which granted I probably could have got those in the free mod section, but it's one of those things to where like they surface like who the guy that created it was, when he created it, blah, all this stuff, and it's just like, yeah, whatever. Like, I mean, if I'm into a game enough, I can totally look at it and be like, I'm gonna throw you a few bucks your way because good on you,
Do you think this is gonna open up for them to have mods who are good at what they do all of a sudden disappear and get eaten up into a company? Say, like a Fallout, someone goes, oh, hang on, you're very good at modding, we're going to take you over and we want you to join us at Bethesda. I
honestly think that would be great if that did happen, because I think that's just more exposure for people that probably deserve a job, honestly, It's one of those things that's like, you hear about stuff like that happening at like, I don't know if it was with Bungie at Destiny, or I think it was Bethesda or somewhere, but somebody made like a Skyrim mod, and
mods.
And Bella's got a lot of thoughts on this, yeah. But like basically somebody had made a mod for a game and that developer was like, hey, you want to come work for us? And that's how they got a job there. So like stuff like that's awesome. But I think this is only a good step in the direction of like making mods more prominent across a lot of different games on Xbox, not just your Bethesda games and your Halo
GTA
4s,
5, that's what we need.
This
Give me those GTA 5 mods.
Oh, wow.
Well, actually, There, yeah, totally. This would maybe open up that too, you know. So, but
Is there a
just look-
DeLorean in
GTA
that game
5?
yet?
Yeah, I just bought it the
Surely,
other day
right?
for
Yeah.
$3.6 million.
Oh, okay. I don't feel bad now for giving away my 500,000 that I was never going to use.
$1 million. Yeah, because like just looking at the Xbox store right now, they've already got a section dedicated to like people that basically are not even an ID independent developer, and they're literally just have probably turned their Xbox turned on the dev kit mode, and it's called Creators Collection. I check in there every once in a while just to see what all's there. It's some pretty wild and scary stuff sometimes, but you know, there's some stuff that looks like it could be cool, but it sounds like that's going to be another section of the store similar to that, though.
I could picture you could definitely go down some dark alleyways in the modding world if you search hard enough. There's probably some. Yeah, that's definitely there.
Totally already does. Yep.
Maybe I'll go look one of these days.
Yeah. But like we were saying, like I think this gets more and more into the. It sounds like Xbox is maybe in a more successful way, some slowly moving into a Steam machine versus where Steam never really succeeded with that. But it sounds like maybe Xbox is slowly edging that way, and
But having that
getting
Xbox
everybody used to
brand,
the idea.
people are always gonna be like, "Well, this is something that I click on a game and then it works." And then it's like, for the people who want mods, they're gonna learn how to do that.
Hit the on button.
Yeah.
So it could be cool though. Yeah.
Be interested to watch people stream while they're modding. I'd like to see some of that.
Absolutely.
Right, the next part, Halo news. Showtime announces new Halo TV series. And what are the details, Doc?
So you guys know about the Halo TV show that was going to come out forever ago and nothing ever happened?
There was talk.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg
Um,
supposed
Silence,
to do
and then
that?
there was talk.
Yeah. Yes. But it looks like it's actually finally happening now. So per Halo Waypoint 343 Industries blog, today we announced that we are working on some incredible talent to bring you an epic new story experience to the Halo universe, the Halo TV series. Showtime is bringing its powerful legacy of experience in building stories of premium cable, and together with Amblin Television and legendary storyteller Steven Spielberg, have been gracious partners in helping put together the right creative team to bring Halo to television. We are thrilled to have the experienced showrunner Kyle Killen, who is known for Lone Star, and blockbuster director Rupert Wyatt, known for Rise of the Planet of the Apes and The Exorcist TV show, on board, both of whom bring their own flavor and vision, intelligence, and voice to Halo. We couldn't have asked for a stronger and more passionate team to collaborate with. It's a journey that we're excited to take you, our fans, and this creative team. We are already in pre-production phase, and we plan to go full production in early 2019, so hang on. This is going to be an awesome ride. That comes from Kiki Wolfkill, head of Transmedia at 343 Industries. What do you guys think about finally getting a Halo TV show?
Is it animated or is it a real
It'll
life?
be live
Kinda like
action,
that
actual
Stuff
live.
Walk.
Yeah.
What was that called?
Yes, the Nightfall. Was it? No, not Nightfall, but maybe
Might
it
have
was.
been
I don't
Nightfall.
know.
No,
I wanna say
Nightfall sounds
Waypoint.
right.
Because I'm like, yeah. But yeah, like that. But I think this is actually. Well, I don't know anymore if it is, but I know originally they said this was going to be centered around Master Chief. But I don't know if
If
that's
you're
still
gonna
the
do it, I
case.
think
But
that's the way to draw in the most people. Maybe, but maybe people are also
I mean, that is Halo.
ready for
you
a
know?
different story, or like if it, I don't know, if it's a side thing, why not make it totally separated from Master Chief? Like have all his exploits going on in the background, but have a different story about whoever else I think would also do well.
I'd be okay with like
yeah,
an ODST
completely
story or something like that. Yeah.
Do you think they'll try and
I'd
tie it
assume
in with the
so,
game?
in some way,
If it's successful, I'd say if it's successful,
because this will
definitely.
launch
Yeah,
as like
definitely.
Halo canon. So the people that really care about that stuff are either gonna hate it or love it right there. So it's not like, I don't know. I don't know if you really lose or gain anything by tying it in with the games. Because if you're watching the TV show, you probably played the games. So I don't.
Right. They did make a point to say, like, when making this show, they were keeping in mind the fact that there was going to be a lot of people that were very into the lore, while there was going to be a lot of people that were completely new to Halo, and they wanted to make sure they had something that would also entice them, not just the hardcore lore fans. So it sounds like they're going to try to,
That's the
tread the
perfect way to
water
do
on
it,
that
I
both
think.
ways. But
So I'll
Yeah.
give it a shot.
Yeah.
I'll try anything once.
But yeah, I'm glad it's finally happening. And Showtime, while it's not HBO, is probably second to HBO in terms of like quality, like your higher end kind of shows like Billions, and I've watched some of that. That's actually pretty good. But there's a few shows they have that I like pretty good. Penny
Oh,
Dreadful's
I love
another
Billions.
one. Yeah,
They
Billions.
did Dexter as well, didn't they? Showtime.
Yeah, I've watched some Penny Dreadful. That's pretty good. It's kind of like your Frankenstein monsters kind of show, but they've got some good stuff. Like I said, not HBO on the same tier, but right there. So this is pretty cool. Finally get it. But
Good. I'll jump in and have a watch.
definitely give it a try.
So next we've got Fallout 76. No crossplay because Sony is not as helpful as everyone would like. Todd Howard.
Yeah,
kind of-
I was like, part of me was like, should I include this at the end because it's like
Just
this
throw
is
in
sort of
shade.
twisting the knife on Sony even more. But this is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Todd Howard, who I gain more respect for that guy every single day. Like he was in my opinion, he was the
100%,
reason to watch the Bethesda conference last time.
Yep.
Just the whole like glow in the dark comment of the map, just everything. It's just like that. He is the freaking man, that dude. Like, but basically, he was interviewed by a German gaming website called GameStar, and there was more to it than just this. This was the nicest way to put in quotes what he basically said. But he's basically like, "Yeah, we want crossplay, and Sony won't let us do it. Sorry." And this comes in the wake of this week. I don't know if you guys caught the commercial for the Minecraft, Xbox, Nintendo build together.
I would say there's stuff on Twitter
but-
too.
And then the whole Twitter, yeah, with Nintendo and Xbox. So,
Oh yes, I heard about that.
I mean, I will say if there's anything that's going to cause Sony to cave, it is consistent applied pressure, and this looks like it is coming from every angle possible. Like it almost seems like there's not a major multiplayer game coming out nowadays that the developer's not coming out and being like, "Yeah, man, we'd be all for crossplay, but Sony won't let us." So
It seems like they're getting it in waves of
yeah,
getting hammered in waves. It kind of lulls for a week or two, and then something else crops up, and they kind of get battered again. And I'm surprised Sony haven't come out with anything.
Didn't?
oh,
I don't know. It's kind of like they're ignoring what everyone's saying.
Well, Sean Layden did. I don't have the quote here, but he basically come out and said, "We are hopeful we will come to a resolution that both will appease fans and help them understand our decision." Which the part where he said "help them
You have no
understand our
interest.
decision" to me was like,
Yeah.
"You're gonna get pissed, but we're gonna make something semi-official and just move on." But
That's just a flat out no, never happening.
Well-
See you later.
I don't know if it's a no, but it was basically sounded like they would
So
eventually
this
phrase it
was
as a
what
no.
you're
though.
talking
Yeah.
about. This is from an interview with someone from Eurogamer. But they said there seems to be an issue at the moment that Sony isn't listening to its players, and I wonder if there are any plans to open it up as far as crossplay goes. And Layden said, "We're hearing it. We're looking at a lot of the possibilities. You can imagine that the circumstances around that affect a lot more than just one game. I'm confident we'll get to a solution which will be understood and accepted by our gaming community, while at the same time supporting our business." Well, all right.
Yeah.
Oh, money.
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah. Understood and accepted. That to me does not say expect crossplay to be a thing. I don't know. Maybe it does, but that to me does not say expect crossplay to ever happen.
I see. For me, it's the pinpoint of the business where he mentions business, and that to me is it's all about cash. It is
I'm
cash. We want a bigger slice of everything.
I'm just thinking, like,
We're not
Sean
doing
Layden
it.
compared to Phil Spencer. Like, oh, who deserves a raise?
Oh, dude, I still haven't shown you guys the clip of. Did you guys ever see the clip of Sean Layden at the Sony PlayStation
I'm not
Experience from
sure.
2 years ago?
What was it?
No.
Okay, I'll phrase something to you, and you could tell me what the internet response would be if it kind of swap rows here. So imagine Phil Spencer was at a conference show, and they were bringing up a game like, let's say that, for instance, this isn't a 1-to-1, but they brought up a game for Sony, but let's say they brought up Crackdown and how it's not out yet. Then all of a sudden, most of the crowd was like, cheering for Crackdown, but then you had one guy in the back booing. What if Phil Spencer had looked at that guy in the back and said, "There's the door," and like waved his hand to the door? What do you think the internet's reaction would have been to that if he had done that?
Like they do every single time that Microsoft makes any slight hiccup. Like, it would have been blown out of proportion.
Well, that's exactly what Sean Layden did at PlayStation Experience. You guys already YouTube it sometime. Greg Miller was interviewing him, and Sean Layden basically told somebody to get out because they booed a part of a game that they were talking about. And I'm like, man, Sony's got a lot of mind share, because that would be news. That would be headlines across the industry if, like,
Right.
God forbid, Phil Spencer did something like that,
Sean Layden, Jesus.
I don't know the guy, but he seems like a tool to me. I don't know. I mean, I maybe that's just because he
It's
seems
exactly
like
what
a
he
corporate
seems like,
CEO executive dude, but like,
Yeah.
yeah. But after seeing that clip, it's hard for me not to have a poor opinion of him, because I don't know. Anyways, it's.
But opinions matter, because that's where you develop something different. If someone doesn't like X or B, that's where you can work on it and get it better. And I don't quite understand this whole... It's as if, here's my product, this is what I'm giving you. Open your mouth, you are taking what I'm giving you.
Yeah, totally. And it seems like, like, I know everybody's kind of like you go to forum and it's like, oh, arrogant Sony is totally back this gen, in which I think that actually is the case. But, like, it's one of those things where I'm just like, I don't know. It just seems like Microsoft is on a much more, and who knows if they'd have been in the, it's you can only say like, well, this is the leadership they have, this is what they're doing now. You can't play the devil's advocate game of like, well, if they were in the lead, would they do this, blah, blah, blah. But
Yeah.
Microsoft are making much more pro-consumer moves across their entire gaming division.
But they're listening to their community. That's
Yeah.
the be-all and end-all,
Totally.
isn't it?
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
crazy.
I still stand by my point of like, with Fortnite not making
Right,
Sony
like,
cave, I don't think
the
it'll happen this
biggest
gen,
game in
period.
the world
If Fallout could,
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah, if Fortnite couldn't do it, nothing will. Yeah,
PS5.
because for instance, like, Switch Fortnite got me into Fortnite. I don't know if I would have picked it up knowing that any of the stuff, which I had bought in a few things on the Xbox version, if I hadn't been able to, if all of that had been thrown down the toilet and I couldn't connect it to my Switch, I probably wouldn't have played Fortnite on Switch.
Yeah, I
probably.
think you're right, and I think
So
many people share your thoughts.
it definitely would have, yeah. It would have definitely been a point of like, do I restart an account? Like, I don't know if I really want to do that.
Of course,
like,
you don't want to
it
do
would have
that.
been
No
one of
one
those-
wants to do that.
Which
and
actually-
that's what's so shitty about this.
Yeah. Okay, I got a quick question. If you do start a new Epic account, do you have
would
to do that
assume
with
so.
a new email? Because that would suck too. I only have one email I use nowadays, so like, yeah, that just seems like, yeah, I'm like you, that sucks. But anyways, yeah, it's you guys already YouTube that sometime though. It is a awkward moment at the Sony PlayStation Experience show, where because as soon as he does that, the whole crowd gets kind of like
Yeah.
awkwardly quiet, and then they move on. Like Greg Miller's obviously a good interviewer. He just kind of like, he gets things going, moves it past that. But even Greg Miller's just like, oh no, it's cool, kind of like waving to the guy in the back. He's like, no, it's cool. Like, even he was just kind of like, Sean Layden didn't mean that. Like, but anyways, yeah. But yeah, just thought I would throw that in there. Todd Howard just kind of being the man, the myth, the legend, as always, kind of throwing that out there. Like, people were on forums being like, I can't believe you said that. I'm just like, are you kidding me? This is like the head of Bethesda. He can do whatever he wants. Like, they announced 2 games, one of which they're just now starting on, one of which they're starting on after that one's finished. Like,
And they will.
they can do whatever they want. And they will. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the next developer to come out and be like, I could just see it next week, EA coming out with like, or DICE coming out and saying, yeah, we wanted to make Battlefield cross-platform, but
horrible.
Sony.
Good.
But
Great.
anyways,
All right.
yeah.
So, that was your news, folks. Take it or leave it. Enjoy it or don't. Or there's
Get
the
out
door if you didn't like the news.
Oh, there's the door, guys. You don't like what you're hearing? Get the out. No, wait, please stay.
All right. So, well, yeah.
Oh, hey, real quick, something unannounced, not on the Google Doc, Risky. I got a game for you and Chocolate, real quick. The only reason I've got this here is because we had previously talked about Nier Automata, and that's you know, I don't know if either of you guys have looked at it, but I would highly recommend giving that game a look. But yeah, okay, perfect, good deal. Okay, so I've got a little quiz for you. So you guys know that Xbox tracks. Like, you can go to a game hub of a game, and, like, different games will have different things that it's tracking. Like, Sea of Thieves is like, here's how many skull forts I've beaten, or here's how many chests I've cashed in, or different games track it in different ways, you know, or what they think is something worth tracking. So, Nier Automata does the same thing on its game hub. So I'm basically going to list 4 different stats, and I want you to tell me which one is actually listed on Nier Automata's page. I tell you what, I'll list one, and you say true or false. Is it true, being it's listed on their tracker? Okay. Yeah. So first one is
true.
Enemies hijacked.
False.
Okay, so that is on their page.
True.
Enemies killed.
False.
False. That is not a metric tracked. And for the last one, time spent without skirt or pants.
True.
100% true. That is a stat tracked on the Nier Automata Game Hub page.
That's hilarious.
100% true. Did I tell you guys? I did already tell you guys about one of the achievements, right? I'm not gonna repeat it here, but there is an achievement that is actually, I looked it up. It's actually hidden if you go to the Game Hub. But there is an achievement for when you do something super pervy in that game.
Adjust your joystick in a certain direction to look at something.
And you will get a 5-point achievement.
Yeah, actually, yes, I've heard about it. Oh
yeah, they brought it over.
Good for them.
Yeah.
What is
Anyways,
going on?
I just wanted to do that real quick for you guys. Just
it is a
give
great
a little plug for Nier Automata there.
All right, so this week's episode of Cross Atlantic Gaming is brought to you by Boss Boxes, the best gaming boxes delivered right to your doorstep. You can go to bossboxes.shop and use discount code 16ouncegaming for 10% off your subscription. If you want to reach out to the show, you can hit us up on Twitter and Instagram. We are at CAG Podcast on both of those. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. If you have questions for the show, comments, concerns, anything like that, you can email us at cagpodcast@gmail.com, or those first 2 options. Where Chocolate's pretty good about handling the socials, so you'll probably get a response from him.
I don't know whether I'm good at it, but I do post some rubbish. There's a
he handles the socials already.
there's a picture of my daughter at the moment going bananas in her jumper about being on the podcast today.
We're getting all the demographics.
We're also part of the 16-ounce gaming family. If you want to chat with us all day, every day, head on over to the 16-ounce Discord. There's a link for that in the description. They also have Facebook, YouTube. We post our episodes on YouTube, and I believe they're on Facebook as well. We're everywhere. Anywhere you want to look to find us, just do it, because we'll be there.
Do it.
If you want to try to find me, I am at Risky the Kid everywhere on everything. Mixer, I stream 3 nights a week, so stop by and say hi. That's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern to midnight Eastern time. It's nice and late, so I never see Chocolate in my streams, but that's true.
I'm normally
Chocolate,
feeding a baby or asleep. You can find me on Twitter and
everywhere.
Oh my god, brain fart. Twitter and everywhere. I stream as well on Twitch. That's Chocolatebear80 as well. I stream 1 night a week because my children hate me and don't want me to play games. That was a better way of doing it, yes.
And Doc, how about you?
There's my little baby talking.
Yeah, DocH1X1 pretty much everywhere. Technically, you can find me on that as far as Mixer and
enough.
Twitch goes. I just won't ever be streaming there. So if you want to just add me as a friend, go ahead.
All right. Thanks for tuning into this week's episode of Cross Atlantic Gaming. We'll catch you guys next week for an all-new episode. Goodbye.
Oh, I've lost my headphone.
Bye-bye.
Take care.